page.
Refresh when we go live.
We are live.
Share. What's up, guys? Happy Wednesday.
Hey. What's going on?
It's like, you know, I think we should
on?
somehow have a show, a pre-show that people can see actually what goes down.
What goes
like
down.
A separate secret closet.
Yeah,
right?
Man.
There's definitely some time spent
It's
before we get it.
kinship, right?
Yeah. I mean, I usually get down at with whoever the guest is, usually around 8 o'clock, so we can talk about everything.
Oh yeah, no. Listen, your preparation.
And
I
you're
tell you,
prepping here.
the execution is only a matter of a preparation. There's no such thing as being in the game, right? If you're in the practice, then you make the game. Oh, let me get things going. I get all fired up here.
We
You
gotta
can
get
just
this-
turn it down once you get it going.
Okay, I
It's
got
all
you.
live. We're
Turn it
all
down.
good. Let me get it going and make sure. Oh, it
We'll
looks.
get this thing shared out here.
Yeah.
If you're watching this, if you're joining right now, please share. Send this over to whoever you know. We want everybody. This is gonna be a really cool show today, guys. I'm telling you.
Oh.
I got a lot of good stuff coming to you, and I got my man Anthony here with us today.
What's up, people?
With Eden Mandate LLC, and we're gonna talk about his journey into the real estate game, how he got here, what he started doing, and where he's from, and how, you know, over the past year he's decided that he's gonna be 10 toes into this,
All the way
into
in,
this, man.
All the way in.
Morning. It's so good to see everyone. Listen, there's some fun things we like to do, and that's make social media. Kat, good morning. Cody, good morning.
Good
Anthony,
morning.
good to see
Cody.
you. Is drop your town in the comments. That's part of being social.
Yes, please.
So if you don't mind dropping your town
Or your business.
or your
Yeah.
business,
Yeah,
drop
or
it
your
all.
Good morning. What's up?
It's so good to see everybody, man. I was so excited to get back in the studio, waiting for coffee and cash deals. I mean, this thing is
Favorite day of the
legendary.
week, Wednesday,
Oh
baby.
man, it's the Monday.
That's how I start my
Right?
week, man.
Yeah.
I tell you, I've been checking you guys out for, I don't know, last couple of months or so. So it's cool to actually, get invited to come down to the lab and be a part of this, man. It's really cool. I appreciate
It's a lab
y'all.
down here, man.
It is a lab.
It
It's
is,
a lab.
Yeah, and all the glory
You know?
to God, because this is all created through Him.
Glory to God. Amen. Bro.
Yeah,
You
so
said that
We-
right there.
For sure.
And it's just funny because we just had kind of a God moment.
We did, not God.
Yeah, that
I mean, it was a God moment.
Yeah,
You know,
100.
a client just called Shane, and just happened to be someone that I know. 'Cause I'm really, really dear friends with
That's
her
awesome.
husband and also her. So it was just really cool. It's like, man, come on, what's the chances of that happening randomly on the day that I just happened to be here?
5 minutes
Calling
before
right
the show.
5 minutes
If
before
that
we go
doesn't give
on.
you goosebumps,
You know what I mean?
got it
Like,
right
it's
now.
just that's cool. That's cool.
That's surrounding
That's
yourself with the
cool.
right people, man.
But I've known this dude. I've watched his transition for, quite some time. When I was first starting out going to meetups, and he'd be just the calm, cool guy in the back, just chilling. And at the end, he had all the deals that he was trying to, put out to people.
Force out there. Yeah.
So it's like, and it's cool to see him transition. And then, Shane the Train. Like I said, I've been watching, the shows with various
been
folks
doing
he
it.
posted for a while, and so I knew him on Facebook, but never in person. It's just a blessing, man. It's exciting.
Well, I felt your energy right when you came in. I appreciate everybody. We're so happy to have you. We appreciate the share, starting the watch parties. This is really a human interaction, and we just happen to have different titles and different jobs, but we interact because our values are very similar.
My man Brandon.
So-
Hey, I went and saw that house yesterday, Brandon. I got to call you about it. I numbers aren't right, but we'll check it out. I got you.
Shannon.
I got jammed up yesterday. I went down to Harrisburg City Council to talk about some stuff, which, by the way, is crazy. That's going to be a neat little experience I'm going to get. But
Morning, everyone. I'm so excited
Brandon,
to see
you check.
everyone.
Nikki, how you doing?
So what do you think of the studio?
Man, it's pretty cool, man. Like, like I said, I've been watching it for a while online, but if you come down here and to see all, I mean, you guys have a very intricate setup. You got the cameras and all the lights, so you guys can't see all that, but I mean, it's a real-time studio, right? This is a big deal.
Shout out to my wife,
This is
too,
a big
and shout
deal.
out to our clients, Honest Home Solutions.
We love you
Kat,
guys. We
Eric,
love you guys.
appreciate the whole team at Honest Home Solutions. We wouldn't be here without all of you. So,
For sure.
a big thank you.
Without a
We're
doubt.
excited about tonight. I mean, you can already feel, today.
Sharif.
Sharif, man. Sharif does so
Man,
many good
Sharif.
things out there in the community.
That's awesome.
Amazing. Kelsey, good to see you. Nikki, good to see you. Brandon, good to see you, man.
Everybody, thank you so much for checking in. Please share this, guys. It means a lot to us to get it out there. This is going to be some great real estate knowledge. This is about, today we're going to talk about somebody getting into the industry. Been doing this for about a year?
Yeah, about a year.
About a year.
little less than a year.
Little
but
less than a year.
Yeah.
And it has already got some deals under his
Yeah,
belt.
I got 4 deals so far, and
Alright.
and counting, man.
and all, just like some really, really good stuff on mindset on how to keep this rolling. Not just in real estate, but in life. Because I think, in my opinion, athletics meant a lot to me in building a mindset of overcoming controversy and overcoming challenges and obstacles and, watching that progression. I was looking at something last night, and it said everybody's been in that hallway, and it had a wrestler. I'm a wrestler, you're a basketball player, it's all right. But you could tell if we were standing up. But no, he's sitting in the hallway with his gear and his headgear, and his hands are in his head. And they said everybody's been in that hallway. And it's the way you leave that hallway that it's okay to have the pain and the struggle and feel like you gave everything you had and not come out and not make it and not do that, lose and not get to your goal. Yeah. But it's how you recover.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's all that really matters.
Yes.
That's all that matters.
And it's life because it's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
And so when I saw that post last night, it said every wrestler's been in this hallway. It's a real thing because in wrestling, you lose a match, you're kind of by yourself. You don't have a team to go to the locker room with. You just go and you just sit somewhere and you're just like, man, like how did this happen? I thought I did everything I could. But the same way, I can guarantee you've had some losses in the basketball game where your whole team's just in the locker room, just like looking at the locker room, don't even want to talk to teammates. But it's how you bounce back.
Exactly. That's how it always is. And the same thing in life, man. It's like, same as you said. So I encourage, any parent that has a child,
Scotty,
figure out what they like and get them involved in some type of sport.
Without a doubt.
You're going to learn how to not only push yourself to the limit because you're getting pushed by your coaches and by your teammates.
Without a doubt.
You learn how to play as a team to get along with other folks.
For sure.
To understand how to sacrifice some of the things that you may want to do for the greater good of a team. You know what I mean? I owe a lot of my success.
And that sport could be theater too.
It could be
theater.
Oh yeah, it could be
sacrifice. I just want,
right.
And they sacrificed. They had to give. They had to
Good
find
point.
furniture and get parents to come. And she's an English
They
teacher
gotta
now.
sell tickets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
The school sold
Now,
our tickets.
that skill set right there, because life is all about sales.
Everybody should be a part of it.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
That's sport.
That's
And
true.
you have the same.
That is a good point.
And you have the same. My sister was Annie in a play at the Hershey Theater. My little sister, she was really into a theater growing up, and it's the same way, man. That actually might be more cutthroat than sports.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If to really be the best, you know what I mean?
Because it's me or you.
Yes,
you know what I mean? It's
exactly.
like somebody has to lose.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Somebody's got to win.
Yes.
You bring up a good point. I've been telling people when they think about competition and stuff, and you brought it up, is I said, you look at pro sports and you look at the draft and you're like, oh, I want to play fantasy, but reflect it back on yourself as a mirror. What if you were drafted for your position once a year in your life?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Right,
Act like that.
Right.
Because they are.
Yeah.
It is real.
Yeah.
Right? And that's
exactly.
what, have that mentality.
And every year's a season, man. What if that's a really good. So that's a nugget right there. Take that home with you. Think about that as if in the NFL you get or sports you sometimes get a 3, 5 5-year contract, whatever.
Right.
Just think about life if you got a 1-year contract.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And at the end of that contract, depending on how you perform, you either get to keep your spot, somebody fills it, or they write you a check for the next year.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's
And you can bonus, right? You
Yeah.
can make more money if you perform. So what do you want that to look like in 12 months? If you think of your 12 months from starting today as a season, and you got drafted on, February 12th?
Yeah.
February 12th, 2020. What is it going to look like when you sit in front of the team management, general manager next year, and they decide if they're going to keep you, cut you, or write you a check for even a bigger amount because you're performing
at the highest level? And you're sitting there like, oh my God, what do I do? But like you said, if you perform at the highest level and you know that you're leaving it out there all the time, you can walk up in that meeting chest puffed out because this is just a formality. Go ahead and sign.
Exactly.
I'm in here.
Yes, and that doesn't mean perfection, though.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Actually, if you're perfect,
No.
you're probably people are going to think you did something wrong.
Right.
You know what I
It'll
mean?
be drug tested.
Yes, yes. You're getting the test.
You're getting the random
Be in this cup, please. No, I mean that's literally what you're gonna be dealing with. But like, you know, even the best guys in any sport have off days, have off games, have days where they could have performed at a higher level. Except if you're Joe Burrow and we're in a national championship, but we don't need to talk about that. We don't need to talk about that right now.
Rush my Tiger.
But you know, there's always that time to reflect, change,
what's up, man?
And move forward. And you know, so I would definitely say, without a shadow of a doubt, if we lived our life like that, that is definitely something that I think is an awesome idea. Yeah. That's a nugget. Keep that with you. Live every year like you getting a paycheck, you on a team,
1 year
and you're competing for your spot.
Yeah.
Because in every other thing, you're competing for a spot.
That's just what it is.
Yeah.
You know, to a degree. Now, here's the thing, right? So, I put a post out on my Facebook page.
Sure.
Yesterday, I think it was.
Ryan, BJ, Michael, good morning.
And the post said, nobody has to lose in order for you to win. You know?
Agreed. That's
April.
And that's the transition going from, you know, from athletics and corporate world into, you know, real estate where I am now. You know what I mean? So, before, like, you know, in basketball and wrestling,
sure,
it's one winner and it's one loser. You know what I mean? Somebody has to lose in order for you to win. You
100%.
know what I mean? And the corporate world, sometimes you have to get stuck playing these corporate political games and whatnot. You know, folks that, you know, as there's this song that says they dap you and dagger you with the same hand. You know what I mean? Dap you and dagger you.
The reach around? The reach around stab?
With the same hand, you know? But in the corporate world, a lot of times, right? And that's why, you know, it got to the point where I just wasn't a good fit for that anymore. Like you were saying earlier today.
Definitely.
You know, you get to the point where
Amen, BJ.
you make a decision and then someone else overrides that decision, but you have to be the face of that bad decision. So it makes you look like a liar.
Yeah.
It questions your integrity.
Your trust.
And what you're about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
and you're the one that built the rapport.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, you don't have anything to hold on to now.
Exactly. So now, like, fast forward, right? So now, you know, I'm in the real estate game before, like, athletics, corporate world, somebody has to lose, somebody has to win. But now I'm realizing that, you know, in the real estate game, like technically, you said it earlier, technically, Eric and I are competitors. We're in the same industry space. Sure. But at the same time, I don't look at them as competitive. My only competition is me, right? Because I'm in my lane. You know what I mean? I'm in my lane. We do things. You know, we have some similar oversteps, but 100%. Essentially, I'm trying to be the best version of me. I'm trying to build something from the ground up. He is light years ahead of where I am at the moment. You know what I mean? And it's cool. I'm cheering him on in the background, but you know, he doesn't have to lose in order for me to win.
For sure.
And I don't have to lose in order for me to win, right? So
which is why
we're both winning. Yeah. We're both winning in our space.
Which is way more fun.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
We had breakfast this morning before we came in here.
Yeah.
And it's fun to talk about your journey with other people that truly aren't trying to find out about your journey because they want to find about your tactics. Right. They want to like encourage you. Right. You know what I mean? And hear about like, hey man, you overcame this, you did that. Like that's a really cool relationship.
It is. It is.
And it's so fun to be a part of that and actually not, you know, have decisive, you know, just a bad idea of why you're forming that relationship.
Right.
You know, it's all about like when Anthony talks about him having 4 deals, like I want to, my goal is to have this conversation 3 months from now and he'd be like, dude, I have another 4 or 5 deals.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Right,
and, or to be like, hey dude, like I went on that show with you and somebody called me afterwards and I got a house out of it.
Yeah.
Like we both buy houses, but like I want you to win, dog. Like, there's other house out there for me, I promise. Like,
that's bread. That's it, man. That's what makes life beautiful, man. When you can win with friends, you know, because like I said, technically we're competitors, but I see the videos he do or some posts, whatever. I share his content, you know what I mean? Which, you know, to the most, you know, to the average Joe, they'd be like, well, why are you sharing someone else's content? Not because it's good content. You know what I mean? Good content is good content.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to prevent me from doing what I do. You know, like again, nobody has to lose in order to win in this space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, in any space, really. Even if you're looking at it as that of are you going to keep your position? if they're going to sign a check. Like, you're your own GM. You know what I mean? Like, nobody else is signing it. So, like, you just need to perform at your highest level.
Right.
And for you. So, and you need teammates along the way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's great to
Good
say, hey, if Anthony runs into a deal that he's not really sure of, and he brings it to me, and we're sitting there working. And he's like, hey, man, I got this weird situation. What do you think about it?
Right.
Like, and we can have a real conversation about it and move forward. Like, I have wholesalers, that have brought me deals, and they get paid, and they didn't know what to do with it. And they couldn't close the deal because they weren't in a position yet in their career that they had financing to back them.
Right.
So, like, they were like, hey, this guy's not going to sell it to me just to wholesale it. He wants to make sure he has a deal no matter what. Right. So can you come in and at least guarantee the sale, and we'll try to wholesale it together.
Right.
And we do.
And but win-win for everybody.
For sure. Because now he gets the deal. He doesn't lose the deal.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, we've worked together.
Right.
He's now seen the transition of, like, hey, I know I brought this deal to you at $30,000. Now I saw you attend the appointment and buy it for $20,000.
Yeah.
And wow, that makes a huge difference. Now we can wholesale it for $35,000.
That's it.
You know what I mean? Like, and how that transition works. I was
That's
with
a beautiful thing, man.
my acquisitions agent yesterday that has been with us for 6 months, and we were sitting down talking, and he was like, "Hey, man, like, I love going on appointments with you because there's things I'm still learning, and just the way you respond to conversations or different situations.
BJ,
like,
you rock
that's
the
always
morning.
something that I always want to be able to help people with, and I think you have the same heart. Like, if somebody calls you and asks you a question or about real estate at all, I think you're going to be doing the same exact thing.
I already have. I make a couple of videos I posted out there. I'll share some things just from my own personal journey that I think might help somebody else out, and I'll get a bunch of folks in my DM or like people who reach out and call my phone and ask, I'm working on this deal, can you help me? And it's like, sure, man. Because one thing, I just have that heart, man.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, I love helping people. I'm a teacher at heart.
Sure.
I always have been. But at the same time, by me having exposure to a different type of deal, it's firing different synapses and neurons that's helping me come up with another creative strategy. So it only reinforces, my own knowledge and expansion. You know what I mean? So again, it's just I look at everything, man, as a potential win-win scenario.
That's awesome. Well, everyone, let me introduce our guest, even though we already started getting into it. We've already started getting into it. But this is Anthony R. Moore, man. Great guy. I've been watching his journey now for quite a while. I think we met probably about a year ago at a meetup. I'm pretty sure the first thing I asked him was, how tall are you?
The same question.
Everybody asks you. And you have to understand, like, I'm 5'7", so, like, when I'm looking up to him like he is a statue. He grew up in Winston-Salem.
Yeah.
So tell us about it, man. Like, now you're in PA. Let's find out. We've talked about that you're in real estate. How'd you get here? Who is Anthony Moore? The kid that grew up in Winston-Salem, played D1 basketball, all that stuff. How did that get you to where you're at right now?
All right, man. Well, I grew up down in Winston-Salem, man. So I'm a North Carolina boy, born and bred. Just been on the journey, man. So, like, even though I played ball, it was something I was good at. My parents told me when I was younger, I think it was 8th grade, they were like, hey, look, if you want to go to college, you're going to get there on an academic or athletic scholarship because we ain't got it like that.
Sure.
Which was cool, right?
Yeah.
I doubled down in basketball, got pretty good at it. I was able to earn a scholarship, went to the university down in South Carolina. Got to go.
What was it, center?
Yeah, I was small forward, man.
Small forward?
Yeah, dude,
so you wet.
So I'm 6'8". Yeah, my J was good. My J's still nice, too.
Still nice?
My J's still wet,
Can you
man.
dunk,
It's
though?
still wet. I can still dunk.
Okay, you can
still
still
get up
dunk.
there.
Yeah.
Still get up there.
I see you at the gym. I don't know if you be going out there.
I ain't balling in a while, man. I played on
boys.
Sunday for the first time in a while, man.
Nice.
So it'll be
They
good
call
to
you for the
get back in
3-on-3 tournaments?
Every now and then. They
Hey,
do.
I need you to step in this
But I'm
week.
telling you, man, it's like, my body don't respond the same way it used to,
That's for sure.
So
These
now
are the next 7 days we cover.
I'm in the pool, man. I'm doing water aerobics and stuff, man. Keep my joints good. But yeah, man. So undergrad, I was in computer science. Went to grad school for industrial engineering. Got into the corporate world. Started off working for diesel company Cummins. They sent me all over the country and in the world because I developed a propensity for being able to go into a negative situation for a plant that was losing money. Normally, it was in a desolate location. they would send me out there and say, Anthony, go flip this plant. You know what I mean? So after I did it a couple of times, I got rewarded by having to go somewhere else. I moved around, man. I lived 8
So your job was to go do somebody else's job, right?
Right, exactly. And then the worst part about that, man, was
What's up,
like,
guys?
after I get the plant right, and I get rewarded, but I don't even get to enjoy the fruits of the labor.
Yeah.
I get kicked out, right? So like, as soon as I put my feet up on the desk, it's time to go.
Yeah.
You know. So
Oh,
anyway,
man.
did that a few times, and then I kind of got tired of moving. Then I went to a different company, and kind of the same thing happened, right?
Yeah.
So I was in Cranberry, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And this is after I came back from England, right? So I lived over in England for a year, doing the same
good to see
thing.
you.
Sure.
And then
How was that?
that was cool, man.
I bet.
Like they Cummins did it right, man. Only thing I had to pay for was gas and food. You know, they gave me this nice car, this nice apartment, man. It was just like
Living your life.
bachelor
out
life,
there.
man. I just did Europe the whole year I was there. It was fun.
My buddy
It was
Marcus,
fun.
totally off topic, but
Yeah.
Please
since we're
share
talking about
this.
basketball.
And start
My buddy
a watch
Marcus
party.
plays
Thank you.
professional ball in Germany.
Yeah.
Man, he dude.
Man, look,
His
man.
Snapchat story is
Thomas,
like
good to see
it's
you.
just
It's
he's-
amazing,
He is
man.
living a life, dog.
It's the life over there, man. I'm telling you, I didn't even want to come. I can't lie to you, man. They gave me the opportunity to come home. They paid for me to come home every couple of months. I was like, man, I'm gonna stay.
Just-
You know, I'm just gonna-
just send me
I'm
that
just gonna
money.
Just send me the money, man. Give me the money. I'm staying. You know.
That's awesome.
So then, like, the first stint in Pennsylvania was in Cranberry Township, just north of Pittsburgh. I was
Sure.
there for a while, did a good job there, and I'm like, you know what, this is a cool area. I can kick back. I think I can put some roots down. You know what I mean? Because I don't know, I just, since I moved so much, it was hard for me to really like put roots down anywhere.
Sure.
So they were like, hey, you're doing a good job. We got a plant up in Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada. We need you to go up there and turn around. I'm like, no thanks. And so, like I said, every time I said no, a higher ranking official within the company would come
Cool.
ask me, right? So the fourth time, it was like, it'd be really advantageous for your career if you moved up there. I'm like, guess we're going to Canada. So I was up there for a while. It was cool, met some wonderful people, had a great experience. Did my job.
Was it advantageous?
It
Did
was,
they make it advantageous?
It was advantageous. They paid, but at the end of the day, like,
Yeah, you're in Alberta,
I was
Canada.
supposed to. It was cold, man. It's cold.
Yeah.
It's Western Canada. It takes forever to get out of there.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, this ain't for me. So I came back, and I did my own leadership development consulting for a while.
Nice.
And I got a call from a company up here in York, PA, to come be their vice president of operations. So I'm like, nah, I think I'm enjoying this space. But then they kind of sent the number across the table. It's like, when do I start? So
All right, York
I
it is.
guess we're moving to York. So second to the PA. So again, it was cool to see my trajectory in leadership in manufacturing organizations.
Sure.
I get here to York, I had a great, 2 3/4 years.
Sure.
And then in January 4th, it's a monumental occasion. I have it starred on my calendar. They called me in the office, and just said, hey, look, we're restructuring and your position is no longer necessary, and so we're going to separate. And so that would be dreadful information for most people.
Sure.
But, I mean...
Especially when you change your whole life to
right,
come here. And,
exactly. When I uprooted to come here,
Yeah.
but the beautiful thing is like, with me going to all these different places, when I was, with Cummins and on the way up, they paid for my transitions, they paid a lot of the stuff. So, like, I just stacked money like, it was going out of style, right? Because the way I grew up, I didn't really have good money management techniques. I just
Sure.
knew that we grew up a lot of times, in some cases, check to check. So I just knew I never wanted to be that. So
Mhm.
I didn't know too much about it. I invested a little bit, but
Sure.
I was just hoarding cash. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, people say, have 3 months salary. I wanted at least 2 years.
Yeah.
Because if anybody ever sacked me, I wanted to be in a position where I ain't got to panic. I ain't got to go take a job I don't want, et
Sure.
cetera, et cetera. So January 4, 2019, it happened, and I'm walking out there like, yes, thank you. Because it got to the point where it's like I just wasn't fulfilled there anymore.
Sure.
I had to wear the decisions of other people and own it as if it was my
Sure.
decisions. I didn't
Hey,
agree with them.
Definitely.
It was just, over time you will see that, your ideas and principles and someone else's ideas and principles, they start off aligned, and over time it drifts
Separate,
apart. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Which is fine, man. It's just
Yeah.
ebb and flow of life.
Without
And
a
so,
doubt.
like, I was telling you this morning at breakfast, the cool thing is that I spent pretty much January, February, March just reading, reading books on like transitioning from a scarcity mindset into an abundant mindset. I didn't even know I had a scarcity mindset.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like I'm working, I got money coming in, but I was always trained and with the premise that
What books? What are some of the books?
man, the first one that I wish I would have read 20 years ago, man, was Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Great book.
Think and Grow Rich. I mean,
Yeah.
just set me on a different trajectory. The Wealth Mindset by Neville Goddard. I mean, that's some heavy stuff right there.
Definitely.
Like, I don't necessarily read a book all the way through. I'll read it, implement stuff, come back, read it, implement stuff. That's just kind of
That's the
what
way
I
to read,
like
man.
doing.
That-
That's
yeah.
what I mean, like, because if you're gonna
Nothing
read
wrong
it,
with
there's
that.
no point in just
No.
taking, capturing knowledge and not implementing it.
Agreed.
And so, and then Richest Man in Babylon, right?
Sure.
So, well, I was like I said, I didn't even realize I had a scarcity mindset. I was stacking cheese and holding it so tight, and it's like, you know what? Money is energy. It's supposed to flow.
Sure.
It's supposed to flow out, flow back in. So,
Yeah.
again, went through all that, went through that transformation, went through the self-discovery process, and then I just realized, like, as I'm peeling back layers of myself, I'm realizing that, I was in manufacturing operations. I didn't really like it.
Sure.
I was good at it. I enjoy leading people. I enjoy helping people elevate
Definitely.
and achieve things that they didn't think they could achieve. I enjoyed that part of it, but manufacturing, I really couldn't care less about. Why was I doing that? Well,
Sure.
because, I had a advisor in college was like, you'd be good at this.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of political preferences I had was
Yeah.
what I picked up from my parents.
Sure.
Social norms, how you should dress or whatever.
Yeah.
Picked up from teachers and, different
Yeah.
corporate environments. So, like, I'm peeling back, like, yo, who am I? You know what I mean? Like, I got all these other people's, expectations and, ideals and thoughts and opinions and stuff. Like, who is Anthony Moore?
Yeah.
What do I enjoy?
That's a big
You
one.
know?
man.
And so after going through that process, man, I'm like, you know what? I've always had an interest in real estate. I always, I knew that a lot of successful people, even your billionaires and your tech giants, they all got into real estate some kind of way, you know what I mean,
Definitely.
as a harbor for their money to grow it. And also I read about, Jeff Bezos and all these other guys who make all this money and pay little to no taxes. Right?
Yes.
So I'm like, man, because I'm making over
I
200,
love it.
over 200 grand a year, but I'm looking at my check and I'm, it's like half that. I'm netting half that. I'm like, man, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it wasn't a goal of mine to pay 6 figures in taxes. You know what I mean?
For sure. That was my money.
That was not a goal that I was trying to achieve, man. So like, I started looking at that stuff. So I'm like, okay,
So on that note, Bernie
I'm
Sanders.
done,
No,
man.
I'm just kidding.
But yeah, man. So I was like, man, look, I'm about to, start a real estate company. One of these guys one of these teams came through. Like, I know when you go to these joints, they want you to pay more money and all this stuff. But
Sure.
I went into it knowing, like, look, one thing that motivates me that, I know I'm going to stick to, if I put some money on the table and invest in some training, I'm going to work until,
So you get that return.
At a minimum, I get that return.
For sure.
So I put that money up, went through it, and first few months was a little frustrating. I did the driving for dollars. I did the bandit signs, did the Craigslist, ghost ads, did the, you name it, you know what I mean? And the problem is, and you said it so perfectly at your wholesaling heroes training.
Ron, morning.
You were like, sometimes people go too wide, they don't go deep enough.
Sure.
And so I cast a wide net, and planting all these seeds, but not necessarily watering them,
Sure.
And found a deal. This is a funny deal, okay? This is just a pain in my butt too. So check this, all right? So I'm putting all these feelers out. I have a client come to me and they're like, hey, we want a lease to own a property in Hanover, Pennsylvania. So I'm
Sure.
like, all right, cool. So I do a search. I try to find some properties for, in Hanover, Pennsylvania. This property comes up, man. This beautiful corner lot. Everything they said they wanted. Fixer-upper, pool in the back, 5 beds, 4 baths.
The house.
The house is laid. I'm like, man, shoot, I would move in that sucker,
Yeah.
And so I present this to them, and they're like, I'm like, look, it's got everything you want, everything you asked for.
Sure.
I'm about to call and get the perfect price for you. And they're like, there's only one problem. It's in Hanover Township. I'm like, I know, it's perfect, right? They're like, nah, Hanover is here. Hanover Township is 2.5 hours away. I'm like, Dad, go Pennsylvania, man. Hey, why can't y'all have different names for different cities?
That's awesome.
So anyways, man, that was a pain in the butt, but and still never really went. I went ahead, put it under contract, tried to get it sold, man. It was just
a headache.
failure after failure after failure.
Yeah.
And then, all glory to God, I've got some of the most wonderful neighbors, you know what I mean, that live right across the street from me. And there was a post that went out in our neighborhood of a guy who had just lost his job, and found a new job down in North Carolina. And, he needed to get out. He's like, look, I can't put it on the market. I don't have the time to wait for, a real estate agent and whatnot.
Sure.
Need to sell it fast. I'm not interested in the cash now, guys. Need help. So I'm like, sweet. So I went over there and met him and listened to his pain points. He's like, look, I already got an offer from another firm that said they're going to give me, what I asked for.
Sure.
And I'm like, well, I ran the numbers based on a wholesale or a flip. And I'm like, well, look, that's above what I can give you.
Sure.
If they gave you that number, you should go with that.
Sure.
He's like, no, I was like, no, I reviewed it with them. I was like, look, this seems solid, man. You can go do that. And then literally, I think it was 2 days later, he called me back. I'm like, so what's up, man? I thought you were going to go with that deal. He's like, I don't know, man. Something about you. I just, is there anything you could do? And so at that time, again, this is my first deal. You know what I mean? I'm structured.
So at this point, you've left the corporate world.
Yeah, I left the corporate world.
Left the corporate world,
I'm
and
out.
you decided, hey,
Andrew.
I'm done with it.
Yep.
I'm jumping
All
full
in.
throttle in
Mhm.
to real estate.
Yeah.
No experience.
No experience.
No, other than reading some books and some guidance and some mindset stuff.
Yeah.
But just like, all right, YouTube University
That's it.
and just all in.
All in, man.
That's pretty scary, bro.
It was real scary because here's the deal, right?
That's crazy.
Even though I had, a nice nest egg set aside
For sure.
brokerage accounts and savings accounts, every month I don't get a deal. I'm watching this slowly decrease. You know what I mean?
Sure.
All this coming out, insurance coming out,
Yeah.
mortgage coming out, groceries, all this
That
coming out.
scarcity
And nothing
mind-
going
that
in.
scarcity
That
mindset
scarcity
coming
mindset.
out.
It kept trying to creep back up. It was creeping back up. And I was like, nah,
He's rereading books in the morning.
let me I highlighted some stuff. Let me go back and reread this to keep myself motivated. But yeah, man, it was absolutely scary, man. So I went back over there. I was like, well, look, man, he told you I can give you exactly what you want. He fell a couple months behind on his mortgage. He was about to face foreclosure at Chandinga's credit. I was like, well, look, I can purchase your property subject to your existing mortgage. And he's like, well, what are you talking about? I was like, well, here's the deal. You need to get out of the situation. You're a couple months behind. I will catch up your mortgage payments. Okay. I will pay, various things you got going on, and put some money in your pocket. That way you and your family can move down to North Carolina.
Wow.
I will take over your mortgage payments, and you will deed your house over to me, but I will continue to pay your mortgage payments.
Sure.
Right? And so we've got it set up to where it's through an escrow company, so it's unbeknownst to any bank, so you don't have to worry about no due on sale clause and all that stuff. But ultimately, me paying the mortgage only continues to help his credit.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So it's a win-win. I get the house, I get the asset, I get the depreciation, I get to write off the interest.
And you have to be honest.
Yeah.
Because if you do this, and you don't pay that mortgage, man.
It's
vice versa.
It crushes him, and then my reputation
is done.
Is finished.
Done. Like you do that to one person and kill them like that, they're gonna air you out.
Oh yeah.
So anybody watching this, guys, right now, Anthony's about to talk about some creative financing stuff that he's been doing, and there's lots of different ways. I talk about wholesaling, I talk about buying properties for cash. But here's the real trick: is that when you can turn deals that shouldn't be deals into deals, that's when you can really open up the floodgates.
Yeah.
So he's talking about what he's talking about right now is a subject to, where I'm going to have him kind of discuss these couple deals that he's done, because there's some really neat stuff that he's doing out here and working with these sellers to be able to provide them even a better number and a better way out, because it didn't work, for a cash deal or just a quick buyout.
Right.
So the first one here he's talking about is subject to. And like you said, you take that subject to the mortgage. So So he talked about that. You took over the guy's mortgage payments.
Took over his mortgage payment. And then, to your point, right? It was another wholesaler locally who does. I mean, you know, he's a movement in among himself, right?
Sure.
So he had it under contract, but again, the contract terms, you know, after you know, my client read it, you know, he was uncomfortable with the amount of time it might take before he gets money.
Sure.
You know, so again, I mean, offering him a different solution, right? So wholesale was one solution.
Sure.
You know, realtor was a different solution that didn't really make sense for him, but the sub two made perfect sense for him, right? It was a situation where his credit was about to be, you know, dinged.
Sure.
You know, and a whole lot of unwanted attention, you know, on the foreclosure.
100%.
So to be able to come in and offer that solution to say, hey, look, not only am I going to solve your problem about how you can get out of this property and get down to North Carolina to your new job with your family, I'm going to, you know, salvage your credit and ultimately improve it over time.
Sure.
You know, I'm also going to put some money in your pocket. I'm also going to take some money and catch up your payments.
Yeah.
And it worked out great. So then after I got the property, then I turned around and renovated it. And then, you know, was able to place another family in there. Now this family, beautiful family. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. And it's husband and wife and three kids, man. They're absolutely beautiful. Had some credit challenges. Couldn't qualify for, you know, a home such as that in a neighborhood such as where this home is, right? So I put them in there on a lease to own option, right? And set them up with, you know, a company that's helping to improve their credit to put them in position to buy it. So, ultimately,
share this.
You know, when they buy it, so with the subject to a lease option, you know, you get money up front for a lease consideration fee, which is great. You know, then you make sure you set your lease payments or lease price to a point where you're going to cash flow. So you're receiving more in rental income than you're paying out in mortgage payments. Yeah. So you're making money that way, cash flowing over that period of time. And then in the back, you know, I have to pay off his mortgage when I sell the house, right?
Sure.
So his mortgage payment is X. You know, I'm selling it for Y.
Sure.
And then I get the difference, which is a pretty substantial increase on the back end, right?
Sure.
So, you know, starting out again.
So it costs you a little bit. So I'm just breaking it down. Not trying to. So it costs you a little bit on the front end.
Yep.
You got to give them, you know, some type of money to purchase the property. You got to catch up the back payment if there is a back payment.
Right.
So you got to catch that up. Then you got to fix it up. While you're fixing it up, you got to pay a mortgage payment.
Right.
Okay. But then you put somebody in there, and you actually lease the property to that person for more than what your mortgage payment is. So if your mortgage payment's $1,000 and you rent it for $1,350, and your mortgage includes, you know, homeowners insurance, you might have some utilities in there. So maybe you're cash flowing $200 a month.
Right.
Hopefully they have utilities in their name, so you don't have to worry about it. So you're cash flowing $350 a month, and then you do that for 18 to 24 months. Say you bought it for $100. You know, and then at the end of that 24 months, you can either sell it to them, if they're in a position to purchase the property,
and if not,
or you can sell it on the market for $150.
Right.
And then you make the difference from what is owed on that mortgage to what you sell that property on the market for. So you get paid throughout the rental process, and then at the end.
Exactly. And in the front with that lease consideration.
Yes, exactly.
Which that covers the cost of my renovations.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So creative financing is coming in strong. So if you're looking for different ways to do it, man, I can guarantee you Anthony will take some time and walk you through it at any time, man.
Absolutely.
So that's a really cool way to do it, is subject to. And I know you've done some other pretty cool financing stuff too.
Yeah, man.
So out of these 4 deals, you've done some crazy stuff, man. So let's hear about them.
Yeah. So the next deal was again in my same neighborhood, right? Same neighborhood. Like both of these houses were literally within, you know, a 2-minute walk from my house, which, you know, that's a God thing.
That is wild.
That's a God thing. Again, my neighbors put me on with that. But anyways, it was a house that was being leased out. You know, the owners of the property lived up, you know, up in Mechanicsburg area, and the tenants pretty much just destroyed the house. You know, it was just destroyed. You walk in there and the smell just punched you right in the nose. You know, they had dogs in there and whatnot, and dogs didn't bother going outside to use the bathroom. You know what I mean? So, anyways, long story short, when the owners saw the property, they were just like, "Oh my God, this is like we don't want to fix it. We're selling it as is." And so, I before the tenants moved, I was like, "Yo, can I get a look inside the house before y'all leave?" And I took pictures in the video, and I'm just like, "Oh my God." So I went and I put together a renovation cost. And when the owners came back, I was like, "Hey, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Anthony. I live right over here.
Sure.
I've seen the inside of your property. I think this is what it's going to cost if you want to like renovate it and sell it. But I'm willing to offer some other solutions if you guys like." They're like, "We want to sell. We're done with this. We've already got a real estate agent that's coming out here tomorrow." And I was like, "Okay, well, look, I tell you what. Here's a copy of this renovation cost to see what you would be able to get out of the property, and here's a little market analysis that I've done, but." By all means, listen to your real estate professional. And they're like, "Well, you seem pretty straight up. Well, what do you think? Should we cancel it?" I was like, "No, don't cancel it. If you already got them set, go ahead and meet with them and let me know what you go. I mean, either way, it's no big deal." And that was a risk, you know what I mean? Because it's like the inside of you was like, "Yeah, cancel the real estate agent. Like, let me handle this, And but yeah, so I went through and I put together a little package and said, "Hey, look. If you list it,
please share
you're gonna, more than likely someone's gonna try to beat you up 4% on the price. You're gonna pay 6% commissions.
Yep.
You're gonna pay your transfer tax. This is what you're gonna walk away with." I was like, or I know you don't want to lease it again, but if you lease it to me in what's called a sandwich lease option,
sure,
I will technically be the landlord and the property manager. I live right over there, so I can see everything. I'll be responsible for renovating your property and also placing a tenant in there.
Sure.
And all you gotta do is sit back and collect the check.
Sure.
And they're like, "Okay, tell us more about that." So I presented them like 4 or 5 different options. One was a sub-2, one was leasing it to me with an option to buy it at a certain period, this sandwich lease, and a couple of options. They went with that. So we set it up and renovated it. Went with Cody. I think he might be watching with lighting remodeling.
Sure.
For his gigs. Yeah.
Definitely.
It was cool. We grew together, man. I put
That's
Cody
awesome.
on, and then he helped me with the first 2 properties.
That's wild.
And he was trying to grow his business. I put him on with coming to the meetups and going online saying, "Hey, this is what I do. I'm an investor friendly renovator," and like now he's taking
Montez
off.
Parker.
For sure. Montez,
He's
what up,
always
man?
doing big stuff,
What's up, man? He does big things,
man.
man.
He's awesome.
I said, man, Dan Barkman, what's going on?
Yes, indeed.
But anyway, so we renovated the property.
Members first.
And we put up, showed up, members first.
Good to
man.
see you last night.
Dan helped me get on. So put a tenant in there, same thing, got lease consideration fee up front, cash flowing on the, what I'm taking in versus what I'm paying out.
Sure.
And then I'm contracted to buy the property at X. Then obviously my tenant buyer is going to buy it at Y.
Sure.
And I get the difference. Man,
Please share this.
So during that time though, the deed's not in your name.
Right, deed's not in my name.
The opposite of the subject too.
Right.
Where you just really are the property manager.
I'm the property manager, but it's very important you said that, right? Because you got to have the right contracts, right? Because what I have is what's called a notice of memorandum.
Sure.
That basically says that this property cannot be sold from up under me.
Sure.
I have equity into the property with the renovation costs associated with it. So it's and the good thing is you have to do.
So for those watching,
mm-hmm.
Multiple different contracts. It sounds like you have
mm-hmm.
for different ways. Where are you getting them? Where are you getting them from? Who do you? Or if you don't want to give out your tip-top secret of who, but what do you suggest people to do? I always tell people you need to find a local attorney.
I agree with you. So what I did, I cheaped out. So again, I agree cheaped out because I paid a substantial amount of money for this real estate training. But they provided contracts and whatnot. I had a mentor that helped me go through and state everything properly. And so, we did it that way. But then at the same time, I did go to my attorney for him to review those docs.
Sure.
He said it was cool because I was, when I went to him to have him closing that sub-2, I had him review the other docs.
Sure.
He was good with it. So
and
I agree with you.
Yeah, and when we say that, I don't mean just go to any attorney.
Right,
go to a Pennsylvania real estate attorney.
Yeah.
Like they know what they're talking about because with creative financing and with the way that these deals go, you want to make sure that you have all your bases covered and that you're doing it right. Because that to me is and I know to Anthony as well. Doing the right thing and doing it right is really important.
It save you money.
Yes, exactly. Because you don't want to end up on the wrong side of something where you didn't operate above board.
Right.
And maybe you even thought you were, but you didn't because either your contract was bad or, something around throughout the process got overlooked.
Right.
On a legality side point of things. So you just need to make sure that you are in touch with somebody that can really give you
sound advice.
Yes. Sound counsel, advice, whatever. And that they're going to really just put you in a position to succeed, and that they have your best interest in mind when you're going into these things. So, that's really important. So, we learned about subject to, sandwich lease. Any other crazy things you've been doing?
Man, I tell you what, the most exciting thing, and again, I cannot overemphasize the importance of going to some of these local meetups, right? So I went to a meetup, and again, I want to hear it, and then I want to go do it. You know what I mean? So I heard in one of these meetups, I think it was Anthony Lynham's meetup, where he had someone come in talking about self-directed IRAs and how to put lazy money to work, and et cetera, et cetera. So basically, if you have a self-directed IRA, and what a self-directed IRA is not through Fidelity or somebody like that, it's through someone like Equity Trust or Quest or whatever, where you can actually buy real estate within your IRA. Yeah. And technically, you're not supposed to be able to benefit from your IRA money because that's called, double dealing or something, whatever the IRS calls it. But you can really get into big trouble over that. So what I did learn is that you can actually partner with your IRA to buy real estate. Okay. And so what I did was, and again, Dan Barker, man, if you're out there, help me get hooked up with a brokerage-backed line of credit. I let members first.
Members first. Shout out to members
first. Then they gave me a line of credit based on that. Because again, the whole purpose of real estate is to leverage other people's money. You know what I mean? And so I had a nice little piggy bank, but I didn't want to burn my piggy bank. You know what I mean? So
just in case it didn't work.
Right, exactly. I got to fall back on something, man. So I had this again coming from my same neighborhood. So I renovated 2 properties in my neighborhood, and then someone saw that and she reached out to me through Facebook groups. We have a neighborhood Facebook group. I was like, yo, I'm your neighborhood, your friendly neighborhood investor. Clean up the neighborhood. If you got houses, let me know. And they're like, hey, our parents are getting older, and they really want to just downsize and move closer to the kids. So I'm like, okay, I'll come out there, take a peek at it. So I go out there, and it's a very cute house up in New Oxford, PA. I go in, I meet with the family. I mean, they're just, good Bible-believing Christians, man. I only expected to be there for 30 minutes. I ended up being there for like 2.5 hours, talking to these folks, just camping out, man. They were giving me relationship advice and like all this other stuff, man. And the house it was only 850 square feet. And I went out there and I looked at it. And I was like, you know what, guys, here's the deal. I appreciate your time and calling me out here. I was like, but really and truly, the houses I go into typically are distressed. They're typically beat up pretty good. And your house is in really good shape. So I was like, you would actually make more money by calling a real estate agent and doing that way. They're like, well, how about you just, you make us an offer? And I was like, I can't do better than what a real estate agent is going to do for you. That's not my business model.
Honesty, integrity, trustworthy.
And they're like,
build that relationship.
Well, just exactly. So they're like, well, just give us something. I'm like, you know what? I'll give you a list of 4 or 5 options. And they had their son-in-law and their daughter kind of be their business liaison or whatever. So I'm like, okay, here you go. So I put that out there for them on paper. I gave them like option A was real estate agent. List on MLS. Option B was, where they could do a self-listing on the MLS. That was like $350, whatever, plus 3% for this buyer's agent. I gave them lease it to me, a sandwich lease option, basically like I did with the other property. And then ultimately I said, okay, well, because it was on free and clear, they didn't have a mortgage on it. And so the last option was like, a number I put out there that made perfect sense for me, but I did not think made perfect sense for them. But I'm like, I'm going to put it out there anyways. And I put that number out there. And, their son-in-law called me and was like, hey, they want to go with option, I think it was 4 or 5. So option D or E. It was the last option. I put it last intentionally. I'm like, this is the worst, And again, just trying to be honest with these folks. And so they called back and was like, hey, they want to know more about option. I was like, do you understand what I'm saying here? Like, did you see the first 4 options? It's more lucrative. And they're like, they understand, but they really like working with you. They don't want to open their house up for strangers to be coming in times of the day to look at things and all that stuff. and they just really wanted, a quick situation to be out of
Sure.
there. So I'm like, oh, okay. So it was great, but then it was like, crap, how am I come up with the money now? You know what I mean? Because I didn't have that much of my line of credit.
Sure.
And I remember the self-directed IRA. So I set up a self-directed IRA. Then I went in and learned about how to partner with it.
Sure.
So I took 70% of the line of credit of that, money I put in, 70% of the line of credit, the other 30% out of my self-directed IRA. And then, the way it works is you have to take title together, right? So 70% of the title is the Eden Mandate LLC.
Yeah.
And then 30% was like equity trust company custodian for the benefit of Anthony or more. Like this long
27 years long.
Yeah. Long, man. And so, but it worked out perfect. So, I was able to buy that property cash.
Yeah.
Same thing, lease consideration
Lease
fee
share.
up front to my tenant buyer.
Yeah.
I was gonna put carpet in it, but he didn't want carpet, so it worked out even better for me.
Sure.
We're cash flowing to the point where it's enough to pay off the line of credit, not pay towards line of credit every month, and also put some money in my pocket. You know what I mean? So for anybody out there who has money laying around in your 401k, I'm sure your spidey sense has to be tingling about the market conditions and whatnot.
For sure.
If you want to move it over to a self-directed IRA, let me know. I'll put a link on here. Equity Trust, they do right by me. This ain't a plug for them, but it kind of is because you use the link, you'll get your fees paid for it, and I'll get a little gift card.
Awesome, man.
Life is good. But you can be a private lender. I just did my first private lending out of it yesterday, matter of fact. So I'm lending to other investors
Wow.
out of the IRA. You know what I mean? And so I'm lending $10,000. I'm getting 12% interest on it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You ain't getting that in the market
No,
right now.
that's
you know
for
what
sure.
I mean? So it's
That's
like,
for sure.
it's just all this stuff that I've learned that I'm implementing, man. It's just, I'm excited about this year.
That's awesome, man. I'm excited for you this year because it
Thanks,
sounds like you're spending time doing the research, and that's the other thing, guys. Like if you're out there and you're looking to get into this business, or you're in this business and you're struggling to find just like that deal, learning how to do creative financing, studying up on it, making sure that you're doing the right thing. You're doing right by the seller. Sometimes, in his case, it's not just about finances, guys. There's a lot of times where I walk into properties, and Anthony just told you a story about when he walked into a property, where it's not just that money that matters. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's who they're doing business with.
Zach, good morning.
The mindset of the person that they're doing business
Right.
with. It's not financial all the time. Like they're some people are in a position where they don't need to make an extra $30,000 out of their house. They might have done the right thing throughout their life, where their retirement and everything is ready to go. They just want to be able to move on from the property.
Right.
And they want the easiest, most stress-free way to do it, and not tied up in a whole bunch of crazy paperwork.
That's it.
Because when you talk about creative financing, there is some extra, steps to it.
It absolutely
you know
is.
what I mean? And
if you miss one of those dots,
yes, it's going to be
blow your whole
stressful.
deal up.
Yes. And it just puts. There's definitely a little bit more stress and communication that's needed in a creative financing deal because it's something they've never heard before. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it needs to be walked through nice and slow. They need to understand the contract. They need to understand the stipulations of the contract, how it works. They have to have trust in you to pay that mortgage payment. Lots of to manage their property in a sandwich lease.
Yep.
So there's a lot of different pieces to that. So, guys, I would really suggest checking in with Anthony at Eden Mandate LLC. If you have any questions about creative financing, please bring it his way. If you're out there and you're looking, to possibly sell a property and you're looking for creative financing options, please reach out to him as well.
Absolutely,
that'd be huge.
I appreciate that plug,
well, of course, man, of course. And we always want to support everybody's business. So, my goal is he does very similar things to what we do at Honest Home Solutions. Both of us are available by properties. Again, if you don't want to do business with Anthony, I don't know why you wouldn't, but you give me a call. If I don't fit what your model is and you want to do business with Anthony, give Anthony a call. We don't really care. There's a lot of times where we're gonna sit and we're gonna talk about these deals anyway. So it doesn't matter, and you just need to be in a community of people with whatever you do that encourage you to be the best at what you do, and watch you shine. And life is short, and it's crazy to think that personal vendettas or other things are going to separate people in any community.
It's primitive, man.
It's just silly.
Yeah.
So encourage one another throughout the week, no matter what it is. It's really important for us at Honest Home Solutions to work together with local businesses, companies, guys that are doing it, that are starting off, that are hot, that have been doing it, and that just want to really continue to succeed. So that's just really important to us as an individual, and we look forward to working. And of course, we have some deals.
Yeah, man.
Yep, and we always do. We bring them to you weekly.
At the end is a picture of the prices if you go all the way to the
Yeah, no, for sure.
Did you see it?
Yes.
All right, cool.
So the first one we're going to be looking at, I hold on, let me find it, is 629 South Broad Street. You can look at these prices real quick. I'm gonna run through them. We're running out of time with you guys today, this Wednesday.
I talk too much, my bad.
No, you're good, man. You're good.
We're good. As long as you don't have anything with us, you're good.
I know,
So
but
you're fine,
I like to keep our viewers at an hour. They gotta hold on. You know what I mean?
That's all you can,
If
you know
they're
what I mean?
sweating as much as I am, they want to go. We got 629 South Broad Street in Lebanon. That's a great property, rent to own property available at $53K. Ready to be rented right now. You probably rents around $950. It's a great cash flow opportunity for you.
Morning,
if you're
Eugene.
looking to add to your rental portfolio. 385 Silver Spring Mechanicsburg. We have that available for $149. Little high on a cash price, but it's probably a 209 house with a small renovation. It really doesn't need much of anything, except maybe a carpet and paint would go a long way, or an additional half bath. 5250. We have Deerfield Avenue. This is a killer property. 4 beds, 3.5 baths. Incredible neighborhood. Cumberland Valley Schools. Have like 6 or 7 showings lined up already, so that all happens on Monday.
Kelsey, good morning. Rajan, good morning. Please share, start a watch party, please.
Please. We have 1128 Clarence Road. That's being sold for $38,500. That's a great property up there in Clarence, Pennsylvania. We'll go through these pictures in just a minute. 3127 North 2nd Street in Harrisburg is $85K. Great property. We have 3 offers on that right now. I don't know if that's going to be around for the end of the day. I've actually been getting blown up by that while I was sitting here.
Morning, please share.
Doing this video this morning. And then 208 Logan Street in Phillipsburg, PA. That's up there in Center County. So, and we always have more properties available on our website at HonestHomeSolutions.com. And if Anthony has anything available, where would they go to check you out?
ArmBuysHouses.com.
Okay, ArmBuysHouses.com.
Yeah.
Check
Anthony
out.
Armore, the arm, baby.
Yeah. That's it's a long arm. He's got a long reach. When he said going broad, he wasn't joking.
And Eric, you got a lot of nuggets on YouTube for people too.
Definitely, yes. Please check out our YouTube page. Follow us. Podcast is up and running. We'll be stripping all these down. I got mics coming in. We'll be able to make this audio sound
legit,
crystal clear.
Man.
So we got. So this is Broad Street in Lebanon. Just spoke about that. This is Silver Spring. Great little rancher. Great backyard.
Brandon, good to see you again. Councilman Lou Rivera, thank you. Good to see you.
Lou, what's up, man?
Indeed. He checks in, man.
Yeah.
My man Lou, bro.
Tell your husband Rick I said hi, my man.
Doing big things.
We love what Lou's doing.
This is Deerfield, 2-car garage, 4 beds, 3.5 baths. This has
Wow.
2 masters in it, man. You don't see that too often. 2 bedrooms with master baths. It's pretty sweet. With a pool in the back. Get ready for spring.
Thanks, Eugene.
Liner is about 3 years old. So that's definitely. Kelsey, thank you for posting that address in there. If you're looking for some properties, click on that. This is Clarence Road. This is a little brick colonial up there. It's got great property out back. It is a 4-bed, 1.5 bath. With a basement area that's, like a workshop down there. So if you're looking for somewhere to work up there, that's a pretty neat little spot. This is 3127 North 2nd Street. This thing in Harrisburg, it is uptown in an area that's just, it's almost to 81. It's a great commuter area, great neighborhood. Plenty of properties up here are going. It's not like being right downtown in the city. You're about 3 miles out north of Division Street, so about a mile north of Division. Just a great area to live. Great commuter area. You can go West Shore, East Shore, anywhere you want in just a second by jumping on 81 to 83. And then this is 208 Logan. Cool little wooden cottage, neat little spot that we have out there, and all those prices again are right here. You have $30K for 208 Logan Street, $80.85 for 3127 North 2nd, $38.5 for 1128 Clarence, $52.50 Deerfield is $245, $629 South Broad Street, Lebanon is $53. So guys, just awesome opportunities. We have more coming to you every week, and we appreciate everything you guys do for reaching out to us and working with us. We couldn't do it without every single one of you that works with us on these properties. Again, if you're looking to buy or sell a house, please reach out to Honest Home Solutions. If you're looking to buy or sell, please reach out to Anthony here. If you're watching this as a viewer of Anthony, do not reach out to Honest Home Solutions. reach out to Anthony.
It's all love, man. But more importantly, if you're looking to sell, but if you're looking for a home that you're looking for a lease to own option, give me a shout. We'll understand exactly what your criteria is. And then we'll go out and source a home for you.
That's
so
awesome.
Just
Rossi, good to see you this morning.
And that's something that we don't really do. Mm-hmm. So we have not done a ton in the creative financing realm. Right. We've done a few things, but
because you got all the money, man. Like people like
chill. We like to be able to purchase the property. We've been we're capable of being able to help you in almost any situation. But the reason I bring people like Anthony on is to introduce him to the market and to the people that watch us. And I wouldn't bring somebody on here if I didn't believe in your product, right. If I didn't believe in your service, and I didn't believe in him as an individual to take care of you. Because
there's a lot coming from you.
I appreciate that, man. And for me, it's important, and that's who I do business with. That's why I do business with Shane. I believe in his product. I believe in what he does. His social media presence.
It's an honor meeting with Shane the Train.
His way of getting your brand out there, your logo, and really just reaching for the stars. I don't like to cap anything. I don't think you should ever put a lid on it. I think that the higher you push, the bigger you're going to get. Exactly. And it's okay to be just reaching for the stars or Pluto. You know what I mean? So just never put a cap on it. Keep running, keep moving, keep doing big things. If you're looking for social media influencer around here, get in the studio. He does a great job. You gotta love the setup each and every week. We love joining you guys. We love that you guys join us every Wednesday at 9 a.m. We thank everybody for watching, sharing, caring, and working with us. We couldn't be more happy to have you with us. And thank you for joining us today, man.
I appreciate the invite, man.
It was a pleasure. And always thank you, Shane. Get it, boys. Beast mode out here. So, guys, thank you so much. Coffee and Cash Deals, Shane DeGarry, Shane Train Studios, and Anthony R. Moore with ARM and Eden Mandate LLC.
And I want to leave one last nugget. They talked about going deep and staying focused in your lane. Tony, good to see you. I'll move something for you because he always likes me to move something. He's one of my guys. Anthony, I'm moving this for you. Tony McKinney from Republic. He's one of the drivers. Be safe out there.
Nice.
I moved that for you. But here's the thing. Go deep. You don't always have to go wide. We don't advertise. We say it on here, but we pretty much don't advertise. We're a specialty business. We're the Jordan emblem on your Nikes. You're a Nike brand. That's what we are. We're not looking to be, but we love what we do and we stay in our lane. And when he says is go deep, figure out what you do. And when you stay in that focus, God's going to give you everything you need when you prepare at that level.
Prepare to execute.
Amen,
we appreciate you.
Preparation
So you don't have to dominate except for your thoughts.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
you do a
indeed.
great job with that.
Yes,
Please hit these guys up and gals up. Everyone here supports families, supports communities. And so it's a full circle. And you're just as much a part of the circle. And we appreciate you being here. And may God bless all of you.
Next Wednesday, 9 a.m., Coffee and Cash Deals. We'll be here. Take care.
All right, cool.